Ek het altyd na haar gekyk toe ek 'n dogtertjie was en toe was sy op TV gewees en nou is dit so lekker om Margaret Gardner saam met ons te hê op die groot ontbyt. Internasionale voorbladmeisie, voormalige mevrou Heelal, moderedakteur en nou ook skrywer met haar debuutroman Bedorwe skoonheid, Joey Superster, 'n stylvolle, sexy Loeket-treffer. En wat 'n stylvolle, sexy meisie is jy nie, Margaret?
Ek was lank lees 'n meisie.
Jy bly nog steeds in ons almal se harte, 'n Suid-Afrikaanse meisie, 'n mevrou Heelal, en jy het soveel volgelinge in Suid-Afrika en eintlik reg oor die wêreld. Dis heerlik om jou hier te hê.
Baie dankie, ek waardeer dit baie.
Ja. Nou, van sielkunde tot mevrou Heelal in 1978 tot mode en skoonheid in Los Angeles. Wat het jou laat begin skryf?
Nee, wanneer ek baie jonk was, het ek besluit om die Bybel te lees van kant te kant. En wanneer ek amper 13 was, het ek begin om gedigte te skryf. En my ma het hulle na die koerant toe gestuur en hulle was gepubliseer. Sorry, they were published.
Ja.
And so I've always written. I wrote 2 books on health and beauty, and I'm a journalist. And I brought all of these things, the red carpet, modeling. I was discovered when I was 16, went over to Paris to model. I'd never been away from home. So I saw things I wasn't prepared for. And then I became Miss Universe at 18 and got very protected, but lived the glamorous life. And then I became an entertainment reporter. And oh baby, the things I saw. And so a lot of inspiration is in there about the way women get damaged by what the world does to them, and how we take on other people's pain and framing. So if the world's mean to you, we go home and we say, it's our fault. This is what we did. This is why that happened. And I really want this book to start conversations for women.
Why do you think we as women are so tentative to speak about these subjects? Do you think we feel a sense of shame, even though we shouldn't? But what is it that make us so hesitant to actually address these very important topics?
I think there is a sense of shame. When you're in a situation that you're unprepared for and you're taken advantage of, there's a triple effect. You are taken advantage of, so somebody's using you. Your body reacts, and then you blame yourself for not having handled it better. So rather than saying, this situation should not have happened, women tend to say, I shouldn't have let it happen. And there's a big difference in how you frame things.
Ja. Margaret, nou jy het ook onlangs jou stem begin dik maak oor die impak van kiberafknouery, né, cyberbullying. Veral omdat jy self die teken daarvan was op sosiale media. Vertel ons bietjie van die aanlyn wreedheid wat jy ervaar het.
You know, yesterday someone asked me about that and I almost burst into tears. I'm 65 years old. I'm a strong, capable woman. When I judged Miss Universe, lots of the contestants said they want to stop cyberbullying. And I was like, can't be that bad. Just ignore it. And then it happened to me. And it's fine. Don't like me. Don't like the way I look. I often look in the mirror and I'm like, not a good day. But, you know, to cross a line and say things like, you look like a man, do you have cuck in your mouth, excuse my language, footsack, you're an embarrassment to South Africa.
So I'm going to jump in there. I'm so sorry that people are so cruel. I feel very strongly about the fact that I don't think there's ever a good enough reason to be mean and horrible to someone else. There really isn't. To me, that is bad manners. And to me, that shows a reflection of your personality if you're willing to make a comment like that to someone else. And by all means, today, look at me and think, oh, Jennifer, I hate your shirt. Do you have to write it on my social media and get personal? No, because you do not know me personally. And I'm so sorry that people who don't even know you or know your heart or perhaps what you do behind the scenes think that they have the right to make comments about you personally as a human being, because they do not know you. And you are perfectly created in the image of God. And so my biggest passion is that people really always realize that they are perfectly created and loved like they should be.
Thank you very much. What I wanted to bring up is that Brooke Shields is going through this currently, where people have criticised her basically for aging. And it's something that happens, and you know, I don't want to linger on it, but my concern was, I have a psychology background. I understand these people are unhappy, but if they're doing it to me, they're doing it to other people. And all I can say is, please don't. I mean, you have the right to your opinion, but imagine if someone you loved had this happen to them.
Ja.
You wouldn't like it.
En weet jy, ek en Jennifer en Peer en almal wat in die TV-industrie werk, het dit ook al ervaar. Daar is kykers daar buite wat vir ons ook boodskappe stuur wat nie van ons hou nie, en dan is dit gebaseer op iets wat hulle nie eers van weet nie, soos hoe ek praat of hoe ek lyk of hoe ek my hande gebruik of en dit laat my ook besef, want jy het gepraat in hierdie boek, jy skryf dit vir alle vroue wat al ooit minderwaardig gevoel het. Of dit nou die persoon aan die agterkant van daai tipe comment is wat dit tik, en of dit die persoon is wat dit ontvang, of dit die persoon is wat in die kollig is, en of dit die kluisenaar by die huis is wat alleen in die donker sit en fight met depressie. Ek het besef daar's eintlik nie 'n vrou op aarde wat nog nie minderwaardig gevoel het nie. En mens kan ewen mans daarbey insluit.
Albei. En dis baie belangrik vir my. I think that people get hurt, and it is good to be strong and to overcome, but sometimes we get to a point where we can't manage, and then people revert to self-damage, self-hurt, bad words to yourself. And this, I want to start, you know, last night I had my lunch and I read from the book, and a woman came up to me afterwards and said, I've lived this. This has happened to me. I don't talk about it. And I want us to talk about it. And I want to warn, South Africa that there is language in there, there's sex, there's some really harsh stuff that's going to turn you off. But this is the stuff that happens. These are the
it's
things.
reality.
It's the reality.
It's what you've also experienced.
Well, I haven't experienced
to a certain extent.
To a degree,
Yes.
not to the extent I've written about.
Yeah.
But I've heard about people that have experienced it. And I want us take away the pretense. Let's talk about healing and be nice to each other. Understand that if you see someone acting out, it's usually because something's happened to them.
Ja, so ek meen Joey Superster, dis stylvol en dis sexy, maar dis 'n fight, nê? Dit is 'n challenge, en hierdie is net die eerste in 'n reeks boeke wat jy wil skryf daaroor. Ek hou daarvan dat jy sê jy wil 'n conversation daaroor begin wat moet aanhou. Net om al openlik daaroor te kon praat vandag het my al klaar as vrou meer bemagtig laat voel, en ek hou so daarvan. Wat wil jy dalk ter afsluiting nog vir vrouens of vir enige leser wat hierdie boek in die hande gaan kry sê?
I hope that this allows people to have empathy for others, but most important, empathy for themselves, because we're so hard on ourselves. I want us to be kind to ourselves, forgive ourselves, and be inspired to try and know that you can fail and reset. One failure doesn't define you. Failure is an opportunity to learn how to go about your life differently. Change. If something's not working, change it, look at it, and move in a different direction. And love yourself.
Amen, girl. Dit is so lekker om hierdie glansmeisie hier te kon hê vanoggend, om bietjie saam met jou hart te kon oopmaak en die hart op ons moue te dra, en om te weet jy het ook 'n hart vir ander mense wat hierdie selfde gaan uit 'n sielkundige perspektief uit. Ons kan nie wag om hierdie boek te gaan lees nie en ons sien uit na die res wat gaan kom, hoor.
Baie dankie.